Stepping in front of the microphone is a new challenge with every forthcoming song. Even after almost 10 years of sharpening my craft, every new project seems like another obstacle that I need to hurdle over before I reach the victory lap. Locking myself into the studio has now transitioned from being an activity into being a ritual in my life, and I feel this is taking place for a reason. Because this album, Spirit Duality, is a much bigger experience than any past project that I've worked on, I would like to welcome you to my creative process, as well as introduce you to my concept. Into the Spirit. I've been doing this rapping thing long before being a college student. I started writing rhymes around the age of 12 and started recording a year later. Fast forward into the past 4 years, I've been a part of Bloomfield College's music technology department perfecting my craft. Currently, I am using all of the knowledge that I was able to soak up about engineering and pouring it directly into my album, but it hasn't been easy. As one of my professors told me in one of my mixing classes, the more you know about mixing a song, the harder it gets to actually complete the song. I've kept that quote in my mind since the first day I heard it, and it has driven me to make sure that I don't go overboard recording dozens of songs and just handpicking what I like. Instead, I aim for 10 songs to appear on Spirit Duality and focus all of my energy on doing whatever it takes to get them as close to perfect as possible. Alright, finally getting to finish this mix today. It's been a long time. I've been working on this song, but I still feel like there's a lot more I can do, but that's just how I am and how most engineers that I met are anyway. The mix is never really finished. You kind of just tap out, you submit, and you just take it from wherever it is. Give it one last listen just to see if I got it how I want it, and then we out of here. This session that you're peeking in on is actually one of the final sessions that I booked for track number 4 on the album, titled Distorted. I was having a lot of trouble mixing the hook, which was performed and written by my homie Achilles. Him and I spoke on it a few times and decided that we shouldn't overthink it too much and to just trust in my ability as an engineer to make it stand out just as we envisioned it would. I reached a point where I thought that there was nothing that I could do to reach my desired sound, but I didn't want to defeat myself with my own doubts. It took some help from a lot of people, including Vitamin K, who was the producer of the track, but I eventually gathered up the courage to successfully mix the hook and get it sounding clean. For months I thought this mix sounded lifeless, but after hard work and solid advice from the people in my team, I was able to transform the piece. They got the chorus sounding the way I wanted it to sound. It doesn't sound separate from the track. It doesn't sound weird when it comes in, and I think it'll reel people in. So it's time to bounce this through and finally be finished with it. I went through hard times with almost every mix on the album, but that's only because I love the challenge of finishing strong and successfully completing my vision. Being a recording artist is like the second head on a double-headed monster for me. Aside from aspiring to be an engineer, I have always had a strong passion for being a lyricist and piecing together intricate flow patterns and rhythms for myself to record. With this Spirit Duality project, I wanted to blend my ambiguous lyricism and complex flows together with common messages and themes that we all encounter in our everyday lives. So I decided to create a song titled Selfish that addressed my passion for me to stay true to that very message. Step inside of the booth with me as I record some of the vocals. Shut. Rigorous antics, ruthless aggression, rising in awe, as if they had knew he was destined to bring truth within lessons as his music progresses. They don't know this isn't for them. It's a beautiful session in this booth for confession, moment of clarity, closure and peace, free from disparity and calamity, loneliness. Each of my regrets and mistakes, emotional wrecks and the aches are forcing me to embrace this hole in my chest of the weight, to be deprived of the void until every vibration dies inside of the noise. I'm sorry, dude. I make it a point to push my emotion into every word when I record, especially with the song like this. But one of my flaws has always been balancing that emotion with my energy so that I effectively get my point across. If there is an imbalance, I tend to get a little too hyped, or I overexert my energy and lose my breath, as you just saw. But I have always been a perfectionist, never accepting anything less than what I feel is presentable to my listeners. So no matter how many times I lose my breath or stumble over my words, I just jump right back into the booth until I get it right. In this song, I even touched on the feeling of pushing my will to its limits, so that I never feel like I let myself or the people who support me down.
The deeper I dig, the more that I seek. I figured that every word I ever wrote I would speak. And with that, I'd open doors with all the people I've reached. But instead, I'm still sprinting towards the top of my peak. If I cease, then I will fall and I collapse into pieces. I break before the eyes of the public and be forever known to non-believers as a failure, and to friends as an underachiever, and to my loved ones just a lost soul. But I've adapted to depression, now my heart's cold. Even if they end up saying that my art soul can't put a price on where it came from, till every vessel in my brain's numb, I continue to stroke the brush across the canvas. They crave this, they demand this. I just hope they understand this, what I do this for, and why I can't quit. That I could really give a fuck if you like me. That impressing the people never really excites me. That what the critics say will never truly surprise me, and that I will never let the bright lights blind me. This is my soul, my life, my spirit, my passion, my drive, my skill, my lyrics, my hunger, my pain, my struggle, my shit. And none of you motherfuckers can control what I spit. This is me.
Even though I feel like the emotion perfectly carried the imagery in that take, the rest of the song just wasn't coming together the way that I planned. Sometimes being a recording artist and your own engineer forces your hand. If you nail a recording, but the song as a whole isn't cutting it, you have to step up to your own expectations and be the one to pull the plug before the track is derailed. I hope to one day get this on a deluxe edition of Spirit Duality, but I've learned that you have to make the tough calls in order to keep your vision intact. With doing work shifts and attending class every day, it's hard to have to cut songs when you don't have much time to replace them. It takes a heavy amount of time and effort to reach the goals you set for your project, so it was very difficult to have to make these decisions. But at the end of the day, this is what I live for, so I made it happen. Working on Spirit Duality woke me up to new ideas, and I hope seeing my creative process and hearing my music does the same for my listeners. It taught me that I was willing to put everything on the line to deliver a message of conscious awareness, watching who you keep around you, keeping your focus on the things that you are passionate about, and never stopping to reach your aspirations. I hope that these values can reach your mind, and that Spirit Duality takes you on a journey in the same way that it did for me while I was making it.
This isn't a game to me. I figured it's plain to see. The struggle and pain for me will make a new lane for me, and you'll see a change in me.
And with that, I thank you for stepping into my studio world and into my creation. Keep an eye out for new content and new music coming very soon from yours truly.